it just didn't quite hit the 5-star mark because it just made me so sad.
There you go. My bad.
Look at him, just watching me.
Call it spring, like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on warm days overdue. But I call like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on warm days overdue. But I call like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on warm days overdue. But I
Hey everyone, it is Tuesday and I have spontaneously decided that I'm going to do a kind of reading vlog this week because why not? And I wanted to share with you what I got in the mail today. So I just finished work not too long ago, just got home, and I was welcomed home by some awesome little packages. So I'm very excited to share them with you, and I'll also be giving you a reading update as well. But first off, what I got today, I entered a giveaway over on Instagram with one of the candle companies that I follow, R&D Candle Co. Absolutely beautiful candles. I am always in love with their scents. I was just really lucky to win this giveaway. So I got my choice of 2 candles that are sort of like the new ones that they're bringing out. Had a little bit of trouble because I didn't know which ones I wanted because they all sound so amazing. But one of the first ones I went with is Welcome to Stars Hollow. This is a Gilmore Girls inspired candle. It's meant to smell of pumpkin, cinnamon and vanilla, and I tell you what, it smells like pumpkin pie. It is honestly, you know, it smells like pumpkin pie cross like fruit cake or like the Christmas pudding with brandy custard. I don't know why, but that's the smell that I get. But yeah, main smell, it smells of pumpkin pie. And it's awesome. Like, it's gonna be perfect for Halloween for some reason. And autumn next year because it's no longer autumn here, it's spring now, but it's still perfect all year round anyway. It smells amazing and definitely the perfect scent for a Gilmore Girls candle. The other candle that I picked is Once Upon a Time, and this smells of blueberries, strawberries and vanilla, and it smells like one of the other candles that I have, which is, I think it's a princess one or it's the Peter Rabbit one. It's like a combination of the two, but it smells so sweet and like kind of nostalgic as well. But I love it. I love these candles. They're just amazing. They do a great job with the candles and I love them. Next thing that I got is a book. So I was messaged, I think maybe like a month or so ago, about if I wanted a copy of this book. So if you guys don't know 12 Months of April, you should definitely go and check out her channel because she's amazing. And her partner has actually written a book. His name is Andrew Warbrown, and they sent me a copy of the book to read and review and check out. And oh my god, this cover is amazing. I am so looking forward to reading this just because the cover is gorgeous. But yeah, I'm like, thank you guys for sending me a copy. It's awesome, and it's even signed as well, so thank you so much. Here is the blurb. I really hope that I don't mess any of these names up, so I apologize in advance if I do. Ulam almost peaked at the Vanishing Island, his home of the past 20 years. But in the end, he chose not to do so. Icaria was his past and the world was his future. For Amantius, a lad of 18 with a secret lineage, life on the idyllic island kingdom of Icaria was perfect until King Roderick's illness suddenly overtook him. Now, with the kingdom on the brink of civil war, Amantius is forced to leave his homeland behind. Meanwhile, Ulam, an orc raised alongside Amantius as his foster brother, welcomes the change, because now he can search the world for clues about his mysterious heritage. Together the duo set off for the city of Silverwater, where an eccentric count is waging war against a mythical creature known as the Mad Raven. It will not take long for the brothers to get swept up in the conflict, nor will it take long for their bonds of brotherhood to be put to the ultimate test. I think this sounds incredible, and I'm definitely putting it at the very top of my TBR pile, even though that's already huge now. But I definitely do want to get to this very soon. So thank you again, guys, for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. And for the reading update, I am currently reading The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. This I came across on Jade's channel from JD Ray Reads, and I don't know, something about like the cover and just the fact that it's a very whimsical middle grade, it has drawn me in, and I'm really looking forward to reading more middle grade, and this was definitely one that I really wanted to get to. I've heard a lot of good things about this author and her books. So this one follows Marinka, who is training to be a guardian of the dead. So she and her grandmother help the dead to cross over, essentially, and they live in a house with chicken legs, and the house constantly moves. It doesn't stay in one place for very long. It constantly gets up and just runs off into another direction, and Marinka is actually sick of it. She is tired of the constant moving. She can never make friends. She can never stay in one place for too long, and it's just upsetting for her. She just wants a different life. She doesn't want to be like her grandmother, and she wants to be able to change her destiny and not have to walk in her grandmother's footsteps. So I am currently at page 270, so I really don't have very long to go, as you can see. And I am quite surprised by this. I didn't expect there to be so much emotion in this story. Like, I know, like, that's probably me underestimating middle grade, because the only other middle grade or that I can think of recently that I've read was Nevermore, and this is definitely far more emotional and far more kind of mature sounding. It deals with a lot of heavy topics, but I'm quite surprised by it, and I'm probably going to finish this tonight. That's my goal, but I'm really enjoying it. It's very surprising to me. I don't like the main character too much, but I'm like, I can kind of see where she's coming from. She's just very naive, and I guess in that way you can say she's very much a kid, because she's 12 years old, so she definitely acts how a 12-year-old should. And sometimes it's refreshing to read a book where the main character is unlikable in that sense, because you know that they're acting like a kid, but they think that they're not acting like a kid, if that makes sense. But yeah, so my plan is to finish this evening. I'm gonna go and cook some dinner soon and get comfy, get out of my work clothes, and just chill for the rest of the night, because Brad is on night shift tonight and tomorrow night, so I get the house to myself for the next couple of nights. So my plan is to read this, maybe watch some Vampire Diaries, and eat some food. The other thing that I have started reading, I started reading Love and Other Words on Scribd, so I'm listening to the audiobook of that by Christina Lauren, of course, because I read a lot of Christina Lauren last month. Why not add another one this month? But I don't think I have many more of her books on Scribd to read. I think that's pretty much it. So I did start that one last month, and then I was like, oh, this isn't the one that I wanted to listen to. The one that I wanted to listen to was My Favorite Half Night Stand, so I listened to that one instead. But I thought that I'd already gotten a couple of chapters into Love and Other Words, so may as well continue on with that. And I'm liking it so far. I'm not too far in, but it definitely comes across as a friends to lovers kind of romance, or like a second chance romance more than anything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more of that. But yeah, for now I'm gonna go and get some dinner going, I think. But I just wanted to get started with this vlog, even though it's already Tuesday. So I thought I'd quickly go and have a shower just so I can be all refreshed for the evening, and I realized that I never actually told you the name of Andrew's book, but it is called The Mad Raven's Tales, The Akarian Chronicles. So there you go, my bad. So I don't really know exactly what I'm making. I'm just making some sort of like pasta thing, and just putting like a bunch of different ingredients in, like garlic and onion, tomatoes, spinach, that sort of stuff. So I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm just currently cooking dinner and watching The Simpsons while I do so. And maybe snacking on these babies. Well, this is what I have come up with. We'll see how it goes. It smells pretty good. And I'm just going to sit back and watch some Vampire Diaries. So, should be nice. Just finished watching 2 episodes of Vampire Diaries. And then I just sort of sat here and came up with a couple of ideas for an Instagram photo challenge to go in with my Charmed themed readathon that is happening in October. If you don't know anything about it, I will link the video down below, but I have put up a video and I've explained it all. So for any of you Charmed lovers or anyone who just wants to participate in a Halloween style readathon, that might be for you. But yeah, so I've just been coming up with ideas and prompts and stuff for the photo challenge because I thought that would be kind of a fun idea. And it's not photos for every single day of the month. It's one like throughout the weeks, like one every week sort of thing, and then one on Halloween. So like a particular one that's on Halloween for the 24-hour mini readathon that is happening then. So yeah, I've come up with some prompts for that, and then the next step will be putting it on a photo and posting it to my Instagram. I'm actually kind of excited for that. Like, I'm very much looking forward to doing this readathon. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but for now, I think I'm going to head off to bed and try and finish this book.
That I caught like everything is new. A sunburst flowers calling on Mondays overdue. But I caught like everything is new. A sunburst flowers calling on Mondays overdue.
I just finished reading The House with Chicken Legs, and as funky as the title sounds, it was just an amazing middle grade. I loved this so much. It made me feel so many different things, and I loved it. I feel like, so the house, as I think I mentioned before, is basically alive, and it moves to various different places with its chicken legs. And I feel like as the story progresses, the house, we get to know it more. Like, it has more of a personality as you progress through the story, and I absolutely loved that. Like, you cared about the house as though it was a real person, and there were so many things about this story that were different to what I expected. I expected this to be a story about a girl who wanted to change her destiny and would end up becoming a different person and away from the house and not a guardian, and she would have all these different friends and she'd experience life with the living. Like, I expected that to be the story that we were going to be reading. It was completely different to what I had expected. Like, I don't know how else to explain it without really spoiling you. Marinka is like a classic 12-year-old girl. Like, she wants to be treated like she's not a kid. She wants to do things her way. She makes some ridiculously bad choices, but she's still a 12-year-old girl. And the thing that I loved was how well the story wrapped up. There were so many things that could have just worked out nice and simply, but they didn't work out quite that way. And the ending was just very, very satisfying in that you didn't get like a full-on ending. Like, there was still questions that you could answer, but it wasn't like she'd completely left you confused and still questioning so many things, but it was leaving you asking questions in a good way. Like, you could be contemplating what else Marinka could be getting up to and all these other things. And I love when books have those kind of endings, because it doesn't just completely leave you on a typical conclusion. It just leaves you feeling satisfied and knowing that the story isn't exactly over, but this particular chapter is, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling here because I literally just finished this like 5 minutes ago, and I have so many thoughts and feelings, and I really, really, really loved this. And I ended up, so this was one of my RAOK books that were given to me, the Random Acts of Kindness, and I was given this one by Amber from the Quirky Bibliophile over on Instagram. So thank you, Amber, for getting me this book, because I am so happy to have read this. I really enjoyed it. Like, the writing was pretty simplistic, but it was still told so beautifully. And as much as Marinka pissed me off every now and then, I still understood that yes, she is a 12-year-old girl, and yes, these are the choices that a normal 12-year-old girl would probably make, and the thoughts that a 12-year-old girl would probably have. But like, it was just, it just makes me want to read more middle grade, because it gives me a feeling of nostalgia for my childhood. Like, it makes me feel like how I felt as a child, and all the stories that I read when I was younger. It just reminds me of that, and there is so much nostalgia in these words that just makes me so happy. Like, I'm really glad that I read it. I loved Jack. Jack is a bird. And he had his own personality, even though he never said a word. And the house was exactly the same. It had its own personality, even though it didn't speak at all. But I just loved it. Like, we went on a crazy ride with Marinka and Jack and the house and Baba Yaga and all the people that Marinka came across. So I ended up giving this 4 stars. Pretty much like a high 4-star in my opinion. It was very close to being a 5-star. It just didn't quite hit the 5-star mark. I am going to get to bed because I have work in the morning, but I really just wanted to update you guys before I forgot, and while everything is still fresh in my mind. Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, and let's just ignore my hair today because it's just doing its own thing. Today has been pretty rainy, a little bit chilly, but not too bad. It's been quite nice, but today at work has just dragged, and I really just wanted to go home and just sit on the couch and watch TV, listen to my book, just anything that wasn't work, because it was just a day where I just didn't feel like being at work. It just dragged. But anyway, I have a later start tomorrow and I get to finish early, so I thought, considering it is also payday, I'm treating myself with some sushi. So I'm gonna have some sushi for dinner. But yeah, so reading update. I have been reading Love and Other Words, been pretty much listening to that all day when I've gotten the chance to. And I am about 60% of the way through. I have about 2 hours left of it, so I am smashing through this. Really enjoying it. Again, not my favorite Christina Lauren book, but I am still loving it all the same. So this one follows Macy and Elliot, who I think I mentioned before briefly. It's a second chance romance essentially. So Macy and Elliot were friends as they were growing up. They became friends when I think she was about 13 or 14 or something like that. So they became friends then, and they didn't speak for a good decade. They run into each other and realize that they still have the exact same feelings for each other as they did when they were younger. They did have a relationship when they were younger, but something happened that caused them to not want to talk to each other for 10 years. I haven't gotten up to that bit yet, but I'm really intrigued as to what on earth happened when they were 17 or 18 years old. And yeah, so it's just going through what their relationship was then and what their relationship is now that they've sort of met one another again and catching up on the 10 years that they missed out on. So I am really enjoying it. I'm probably going to finish it tonight, most likely, and then I've got to work out what to read after that. But I'm really enjoying this reading experience with this book. I love Christina Lauren's writing, and I know that there's almost always a happy ending, so that makes me feel happy. But yes, I'm gonna go and eat and watch some TV, and I'll chat to you guys later. Hello again. I think I have come up with what I'm going to read next after I finish Love and Other Words, because like I said before in the previous clip, I have about 2 hours or so left of it, so not too long, but I do need to pick something else to read, and I think I'm gonna go with A Game of Thrones from the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. I love the TV series. I know so many people hate the way that it ended and they hate the last couple of seasons, but I feel like I'm one of the few that actually really enjoyed it. Like, I can see why they did the things that they did, and Granted, it wasn't without its flaws. There were some issues with the writing and certain character arcs that were happening. I understood why they did what they did and the direction that they were going, and no one's perfect, so everyone makes mistakes, but I loved it nonetheless. Still one of my favorite TV shows, so I figure it's probably about time to continue on with this book series. I did start this a while ago and I got about 200 or so pages into it, and I figured, you know what, I may as well continue reading it, considering I already have quite a good chunk of it read, so may as well keep going. I will start reading it and know where I'm up to, because I've rewatched the first season a couple of times anyway, so I know the basics of everything that happens and everything that goes on. So once I continue reading this, I'm sure I will remember where I was up to and what was going on. I don't know, it's a weird thing of mine that, like, if I start reading a book and then I put it down, once I start reading it again, I remember what's happened before, like the stuff that I've already read before previously. It's really weird, but like, it doesn't matter how long it's been since I've read the book, I'll pick it up and then start reading it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this is what was happening, cool, most of the time. But then it's weird because if I'm reading a series and then I haven't read the books in so long, I'll pick up like the sequel and have no idea what happened in the first book. So it's a weird scale, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that difficult for me to realize what's happened. Like, it wasn't that long that I restarted this anyway, so it should be good to get back into this. But yeah, I think I'm going to start continuing on with this one after I've finished Love and Other Words.
So I think they were just watching me the whole time as I was finishing that book. Look at them, just watching me at the highest point possible.
I finished reading Love and Other Words. Oh my god. So I'd said that I didn't think this would be one of my favorite Christina Lauren books, because The Unhoneymooners is still right at the top there and My Favorite Half Night Stand, but this one just blew those two right out of the water. It's definitely right at the top now. I didn't expect to be so emotionally distraught over this story, because all of the other Christina Lauren books that I've read, they obviously have some drama to them, but they haven't hit me that emotionally. And this one just broke me. Like, I had my suspicions that it was going to, but it just exceeded everything that I had expected about it. Like, okay, so we have Macy and Elliot, who I'd mentioned were in love when they were teenagers, and they had a kind of relationship. They were sort of working out their feelings for one another. They were experiencing their firsts with each other, and then 10 years later, they haven't talked, they haven't seen one another in a whole decade, and they finally run into one another and like catch up and everything, and there's still this tension between them because something had happened, but we don't quite know what happened to make them stop talking, to split them up. I had my suspicions, and as the book progressed, I knew it was coming, but then something else happened and it brought me to tears. Like, I'm crying just thinking about it now. Yeah, I was listening to it in a bath and then I just started sobbing, because it was just heartbreaking. And I literally just sat here on the bed eating Nutella while I listened to the rest of the book, because it just made me so sad.
Birthday
To you!
Happy
birthday to you! Lift it?
Yes, blow them out.
Oh.
Don't spit on the cake.
She said don't spit on the cake.
Oh, sorry.
For she's a jolly good fellow.
Yay!
For she's a jolly
Now you gotta
good
cut the cake.
fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. And so say all of us.
And so say I.
I like that, Mum. Hello everyone, it is Friday and I didn't update you much yesterday at all. If you saw clips, that was because we had dinner at my nan's for my mum's birthday, which was earlier in the week. We had like a little sort of barbecue type thing and cake, naturally. But I didn't have anything else to update you on because I didn't do any reading yesterday, at least not much, because by the time we got home from Nan's, I'd already been working all day anyway. And yeah, by the time we got home from Nan's, we were just really tired. Brad's come off night shift, so he was really tired. And I read a couple of pages of A Game of Thrones, but then I fell asleep. So I was pooped. Kind of a busy day, even though work has been really slow. Like I told you, like earlier on in the week, I think we really rely on the weather for our business a lot of the time, and when it gets to the warmer weather we sort of rely on people who are traveling and going hiking or camping, and there's not a lot of that happening at the moment, so it has been pretty quiet, especially today. But I do have a little bit of a reading update, I guess. I don't know, but I have been reading more of this. I am almost at the 300 page mark. I am at 275, so probably like 20-30 odd pages more than what I was when I continued picking up this book. Nothing really much to say about it. If you've seen the show, the first season is mainly just a lot of like information and character building, and yeah, there's not really too much to say. I'm contemplating reading something else at the same time that's not a fantasy, but then I'm like, I feel like that's going to distract me from reading this, so I'm going to try and just stick to reading this, even though it is quite chunky, but I'm going to try and read what I can. I have to work tomorrow, and then I have Sunday, Monday off, so hopefully I can get some reading done. I've got to take some photos and probably film a video or something, but yeah, so tomorrow I'm hoping goes fast and then I can just come home, and then we're going bowling tomorrow night, so you probably won't get much of an update out of me tomorrow either. But yeah, plans for tonight, I'm hoping to get some reading done tonight, and I think we'll probably end up watching maybe an episode of our shows. I'm not too sure, but I have an earlier start tomorrow, so I don't know what time I'll be going to bed and how much I'll get to read, but I will definitely try to read some. So yes, I'm gonna go get changed and start dinner of some kind. Don't know what we're having, but I'll work something out. You have already eaten. No, you guys have already eaten. You've already had your dinner. Yeah. Are you fat? Are you a fat little chunky cat? Ignore the odd socks. You fat? Hey girl, you don't get any more food. No, buddy, no. Hello everyone, it is Sunday and I don't think I've updated you since probably Friday. I worked all day Saturday and then we had a pretty social evening. We went bowling with some friends and then we went back to their place and basically played trivia all night. We didn't get home until 2:30 and then we just crashed and had a pretty late start this morning. So we've spent pretty much the morning just tidying, doing housework and stuff. I've got to go and pick up the groceries soon, But then we'll have a nice relaxing afternoon. For my little reading update, I am still reading A Game of Thrones. I read up to 315. I was reading some on Friday but didn't really get a chance to read yesterday. But I'm hoping to read at least another 100 pages today. I would like to also get a head start on As Old as Time, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. This is one of the Disney Twisted Tale versions of Beauty and the Beast. So that's one that I would like to get started on. It's only a short one, so it really shouldn't take me long. All the other ones that I read haven't taken me too long either. So that should be good. I am looking forward to reading this one and continuing on with Game of Thrones. I am enjoying this. I like all the extra bit of information that we don't get in the TV series. There is like a lot of extra characters that like are mentioned briefly for 5 seconds and then are just completely not important. It's good because it feels like I'm watching the show because I know what's happening, I know what's going to happen, but it's also good to have all that extra stuff that's going on as well, and all like the extra characters and like the thoughts that are going on in their head. It's a good little extra thing for someone who loves Game of Thrones. So I'm looking forward to reading some more of this today and getting started on As Old as Time. So it should be good. I kind of want to bake some banana bread as well, either today or tomorrow. We will see. I think for now I'm just going to go and continue editing the rest of the vlog until we have to go and get the groceries.
Call it spring, like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on Mondays overdue. But I call like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on Mondays overdue. But I call like everything is new. The sunburst flowers calling on Mondays overdue. But I call like everything.
Hey everyone, happy Monday. I didn't really end up doing much reading yesterday. We sort of did housework and then I spent the afternoon taking some pictures for Instagram, only to work out that my SD card in my camera is corrupted somehow, and I completely forgot that it was because I'd swapped it. I had a memory card in my camera already, but I was like, no, I'll swap it and just use a different one this time, and that was the one that I used that ended up being corrupted, and I completely forgot about it being so. That was fun. And I also don't have a cord for my camera that I can find, so I wasn't able to plug that into the computer either. After that really annoying incident, I ended up taking a bunch of photos this morning anyway. I just took the same ones that I had already planned and changed them up a bit, so they ended up a lot better. Still annoying that I had to do it all over again, but it's done. For the reading update, I actually started this last night. It's As Old as Time, The Twisted Tale, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm now, I think, 100 and something, just over 100 pages. I'm up to 121, which it's very, very easy to read. Like, all these Twisted Tales, anyone that I've read, they have just been so easy to read. They're so quick and easy to get through, and it's Disney, so I'm not complaining. But like I said previously, this is a twisted tale on Beauty and the Beast. And I started reading some last night. I read, I think, probably like 30 pages or something last night. And then I've just read some more today. I've been sitting out in the sun because it's a lovely day today. So I thought that I would sit outside for a bit and read. And yeah, I read up to just over 100 pages. So it's been a good little morning so far. I mean, it's not morning anymore. I think it's like midday now. But that is what I have done today, other than some housework, as per usual. So I didn't know if I was going to like it at first, because when I started reading it last night, it was different, I guess. Like, it read differently than what I had expected. So it kind of works in like a flashback. So we're reading from Belle's point of view, but also her dad's point of view. So it switches back and forth from like the past and the present. And it starts off with her mum and her dad's history and how magic is becoming almost like a crime. So it's starting to be eradicated and magical people are just disappearing off the face of the earth. And then we switch to Belle, which, as we all know, is the story of Beauty and the Beast. So it obviously goes from her in her little town and wanting adventure, and then becoming the prisoner at the castle with the Beast. It is actually growing on me. I didn't know if I was going to like it, but I'm quite enjoying it. I don't mind reading about the story that's happening with her mum and her dad and how that's all going to lead up to Belle and the Beast. So I don't mind it. It would have been nice if it was a little bit more clearer, like it had the year, or 10 years ago or whatever, just to specify how long ago this was. But you can kind of guess, because it's before Belle's born and then after she's born. So it seems to work out well. The more I read it, the more I'm understanding what's happening and how it's being told. So it's good. I'm enjoying it. I love Beauty and the Beast. And of course, probably once I finish this, I'm going to watch Beauty and the Beast. That's probably no surprise. I haven't done much more reading of Game of Thrones. Like I said last night, I was kind of in a crappy mood because of what was happening with my camera, and I just wasn't feeling great last night, so I didn't want to read something too heavy like Game of Thrones, and that's why I thought I'd start on The Twisted Tale, and I'm glad I did, because I'm enjoying it. And I'll probably read some more later, and I'll try and read some more of Game of Thrones later as well. I'll try and get some of that done, but for now, I think I'm actually going to go and make some banana bread or some banana muffins or something like that. Sounds like a good plan. Hey everyone, I just wanted to quickly come on and wrap up this vlog. I read just over 600 pages this week, which is really, really good. Like, I feel like I had a productive reading week. I ended up finishing 2 books. I continued with one that I was already in the middle of reading, and then I started a new one. I finished reading The House with Chicken Legs. I think I only had like 70 pages left, but when I started the vlog anyway. And then I started reading Love and Other Words, which I also finished, continued reading A Game of Thrones, and then started with As Old as Time. So I think this week has been a success, and I look forward to seeing what this next week has in store for me and seeing what I'll read and finish this week. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I apologize for a lot of the rambling whenever I'm talking about books. My mind just goes on a tangent half the time, but that's how it is sometimes. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.